Hey Tax Pros, Tamer coming at you with another video. In this video, we're going to cover how to create your own courses in Tax Nitro, how to brand those courses to your business, and then how to either give them away for free or sell them. All right guys, let's hop into it. So the first thing we're going to do is go to sites. Now we're going to hover over membership and let's talk about creating your course. So when I go to products, this is where you can actually create courses. Now you can see some courses have members, some don't. We'll talk about access a little bit later. First, let's talk about how to actually upload our videos and get our content onto the page. So we're going to create a product. I personally like to start from scratch, so I like to build my own here. You could of course use any of these and the concepts are the same. So I'm going to start building and we're going to call this Tamer's Tax Course. I'm going to hit create product. Now you guys could teach anything in the world you want. It doesn't matter to me because the cool thing is it doesn't have to be tax related. I know Tax Nitro says Tax Nitro in the name, but when we get into branding your course, there will be zero tax affiliation if you don't want there to be. So it doesn't have to be Tax Nitro. It does not have to be a tax course. You could build anything. So real quick guys, let's talk about what's on our screen here. We got product structure that includes categories and posts, or what we're going to actually put in our videos. So of course you can actually add additional categories here. For example, I want to talk about maybe intermediate tax law. I can add that into a category, and then I'll add one more category here and I'll put like tax scenarios / quizzes. Right? And you can save that. Now my blank category, I'm going to edit. So I'm going to click on the blank category, and here's how you edit a category just in case you made a typo or something, right? You can pop in whatever you want here. So maybe like tax fundamentals and hit save. Super important guys, your visibility. So you're going to have category visibility and lesson visibility. Make sure you turn it on published. I will say that you can also turn it on draft if you don't want people to see it. You can turn it on locked if you want to basically lock this category behind them finishing a specific post or another category. But in general, leaving everything published is always a good idea. Now you can see my other ones are on draft. You can just click and go to published. Now let's say I don't want them to take any quizzes until they've completed 1 and 2. So I could go to locked and I could say, hey, it is locked until they complete intermediate tax law. And then I want to lock intermediate tax law until they complete fundamentals. So now when they go to take the course, they need to start with fundamentals. Once they complete everything here, it'll go to intermediate tax law. Now let's talk about creating an actual post or a video or a lesson. So I'm going to click on blank post here, and if that's not showing up for you, you can always click the plus button inside the category and hit add lesson. When I hit add lesson, I'm going to call this like lesson 1, you know, your tax business, or your first tax client, something like that. And again guys, I'm kind of spitballing here, so you guys can obviously structure your course however you would like. I'm going to click on this lesson and we're going to cover what's on this page now. So I got videos, I got visibility, I have the thumbnail, I have files, and the description or post details. First, let's talk about the video. Highly recommend you guys just use your phones and maybe read off of slides, read off of notes, whatever you guys have. Even if you're just going off the top of your head and you want to teach something that you have a lesson on your head, it can be a talking head video where maybe it looks something like this, where you're talking, you know, just to the camera. Let me get back into my screen here. You could also use an advanced recording like OBS or open broadcast software, where you can switch scenes similar to what I can here, where I can switch back and forth between maybe a PowerPoint or a picture or your Tax Nitro website. Right, so you could record it in whatever format you want. You do have to figure that out separately, but there's tons of stuff out there on YouTube if you want to self-educate. Now, once you have your video done, you're going to get it on your computer. You're going to select to upload a file, and then we're going to go find our video here. So let's go to our Tax Nitro folder. Let's grab our demo. So it's gonna upload. Now, the faster your internet, the faster this is gonna upload. So if you're on, really bad Wi-Fi, maybe wait to upload your video till you're at home and you have better internet. From here, guys, I always recommend turning it to published just so you don't forget. If it's not published, it will not show up to any members or students who have access to it. Then I always hit save for good measure. Now let's talk about our post thumbnail. This is what's going to show up as the picture representation of what's on your screen. So what I highly recommend is using a tool like Canva, where you can create a 1280 by 720 picture and put the title of your lesson on here. So our lesson is your first tax client. Check out how easy this is. I'm going to go unfull screen real quick and let's go to canva.com. Now all I have to do is in the top right hit create design. I'm going to use custom size here, 1280 by 720, and hit create new design. And then there's tons of cool little designs that you can steal from if you want to, or you can just go to elements, drop in a square and make it as big as you want, and then change the color to, let's go like a blue, let's go deep blue, and then grab some text, add a headline, and call this my first tax client, and just kind of blow it up really big. Right, now that we have that all centered up, and here's where my OCD comes in, is I want everything to be centered. There we go. You just click share and download, and this will download right to your computer 100% free. Once that downloads, guys, you can go back to your editor, upload a file. Let's go to our downloads and grab our heading. And there we go. There is your thumbnail. It does not have to be super complicated or super fancy. Of course, you could get a little graphic designer and ask them to build out a whole bunch of thumbnails for you if you want. Let's talk about post details. Post details is where you can write out what you're going to go over in the lesson. This could be like, we're going to cover, the A to Z of handling your first tax client. And then, you can elaborate on all this. You can even include links, you can include pictures, whatever you want here. So links is over here, pictures is over here, and all that good stuff. So that's more like the post description. I always tell people your video is probably more important than your post description. Next up and lastly is your files. So the files is if you want to give them a checklist, if you want to give them a free resource, or maybe you want to give them a copy of your slides that you're reading off of. You could add files, choose file, and then I'm just going to upload, let's go with the thing we just created. You can say, hey, listen, you can go download your own 1280 by 720 thumbnail right here. That's probably not something you would actually give away, but you get the idea. Next up, guys, go ahead and hit save. Now that I have my course saved, you can preview it and see what it looks like. And boom, we have our thumbnail right here. We have our video. I will say that if you want your video to process, give it like 5 to 10 minutes to process. You can see mine's a little, hey everybody, open it up here. Yeah, mine's still in standard definition, but look right here, I can crank it up to 1080 or 720 or 480, and there it goes, it just cleared up. So give it a minute to catch up to from when you uploaded it to when you're viewing it for the first time, as it might take a second to actually get to high definition. The next piece here is to update what this actually looks like. So we have the logo that's missing, our instructor face and name are missing, and there's just a bunch of stuff in here that we need to update. So let's get into it. The first thing I want you to do is go back to your course outline, so your course editor. You have two places that you can update the look of your actual course, and the course is going to look something like this. So we have a couple elements here. We have our hero right here, this big yellow thing. We have the course progress, we have our instructor bar, and then we have our lessons, right? So we can go in here and edit all of this, including our logo. The first place you want to go into is going to be details on the course itself. So you can put in a course description, you can upload a product thumbnail to make it look nice, And if you go down to customization, you can switch out your instructor heading. You can upload an instructor headshot, edit your name. So I'll put Tamer and then, Tax Nitro head of support. Pop in a bio if you want to, and then upload your logo and your favicon. So the logo will pop up in the top left-hand corner, and the favicon, let me come out of full screen here. The favicon is like the Canva C here. So the Canva C is like their mini logo versus the Tax Nitro logo or the blank logo, which was what will pop up if you don't put anything there. All right. So once you have all those things done, there's a save button at the bottom or at the top, whichever one you want to click, as long as you get that done. The big stuff is going to be inside of your customize button. So we can see our standard layout is going to be lessons on the left, course progress and instructor on the right, and just like a basic outline of what you have. You can go to your customize button and get 3 different themes. Now I always recommend hitting customize to go and look at what it'll look like first, which this one kind of just swaps what side the lessons are on. You could also go to back to gallery and check out the New York theme. The New York theme kind of centers everything up and gives you the ability to switch between the different modules. And then we have the new theme, which is more of a streamlined theme where you have things on the left and then little posts and stuff like that on the right hand side, so you can click through, switch lessons, and bring the post up on the right. So pick your favorite theme and let's get to actually customizing it. So I'm going to customize the classic theme here. It's just, to me, this one seems the coolest. And I'm going to go to sections right away. Now when I'm in sections, my header is where I'm going to set up my background. So I can choose a file for my header. I usually leave my header blank. I believe this is the header up here. So if I wanted to change this to, for example, maybe let's change it to red and hit OK, and then hit save, it's going to change that to red, right? So just be careful with what you're changing. If you change something that you didn't intend to, you can always change one thing at a time and swap it back. So I'm going to swap that back to white and save it. Now, just because I changed something in the editor here doesn't mean that it changed on my actual product, on my course. I have to hit apply theme to apply it to my course. Now real quick, let's show you how to upload your own hero. So in case you find a cool background image to replace these pencils, you can. What I would do is, if you want just a color, you can come in here and set your color. Let's go for like a light blue. And now I just hit save changes. And that's going to change the pencils out for that. If you want to go to Canva and grab a 1600 by 350 and upload your own thing here, you can do that as well. What I will say is that the button and the Tamer's Tax course, the actual title of the course, I don't believe are editable. So if you want to make sure that there's nothing in the middle of your background image that'll like basically right over the button or the image. All right, so once you have it all set up the way you like it, what you're gonna do is save changes. You're gonna click on save theme, and then when you're ready to apply it to your course, hit apply theme. You could also hit back to gallery and hit apply here if you like. So if once I hit apply, when I go and preview my course, where's my preview button? There it is, preview. We're gonna see our new header, our red text, and all that stuff change. So keep that in mind when you're setting things up. Alrighty guys, next up, we're gonna talk about branding your portal. So your portal is where you actually send people to log in. So when I'm under memberships, I'm gonna go to settings, and then I'm gonna go to custom domains. This is where you can set up your own custom login portal instead of using the unbranded portal, which gives you a random string of letters and numbers. You can set up in your DNS settings on your domain name registrar. That's going to be places like GoDaddy or Google Domains. You can go in there and set up a CNAME pointing at preview.memberships.msgsandr.com, and it will then point to your domain when you enter it in here. Now for the host, I recommend you do something like portal.yourwebsite.com, or maybe you do courses.yourwebsite.com. That's up to you and where you can get creative with your domain. If you guys need help on setting up your domain for memberships, remember you can always open the live chat here and reach out to any of our members on live chat support to get some help with that. We also have a really cool knowledge base that if you type in membership domain, membership site setup, you can come in here and check out some articles that we have to help you get set up in there. One more thing in the site settings you want to do is you might want to check out your site settings and email settings. So under site settings, you want to put your logo and your favicon. And then you have to decide whether you want people to be able to download your videos or not. So if this is toggled on, you will have access to download your videos. If not, just flick it off and they will not be able to download your videos. The logo and the favicon are cool for branding, and then generally I don't need a title or any of this information here. Once you have that set, go to your email settings, and send welcome email is probably your most important setting. You want to make sure this is turned on. I believe it's turned on by default, so whenever you give access to a course, which we're going to cover next, they will receive an email with their login credentials, right? Their email and their password. So speaking of that, let's get into offers. Offers is where you can not only give people access to your course, but you can actually sell your course or give it away for free. Let's click on offers and set up an offer. So you can also see your stats up here where, hey, this is the all-time revenue I've ever made, and the last 30 days, how many courses you've sold. This includes free courses as a quote-unquote sale, where you can see revenue per month based on what you're selling. Now, to be able to sell things, you do need to integrate a payment gateway like Stripe. So if you're planning on doing courses and selling them, you're going to go to your payments tab and integrate your payment gateway. We're not going to cover that in this video. So let's talk about giving access. Go ahead and click on create offer. And I like to always recommend that you do one offer with one course. Once you have a couple courses, you might have an idea like, hey, I want to bundle all my courses together and do a special deal for like, half off or something like that. You can definitely do that, but save it for a later day where let's focus on building this one course first. So the title of this should probably be something what the actual course is about. I'm going to call it Tamer's Tax Academy, and then come in here and select your product. So I actually think it was Tamer's Tax Course, so I'm going to change it to that. Tamer's Tax Course. And you can see how to differentiate these things as well by their name. So Tamer's Tax Course might be similar to Tamer's Tax Academy, but it might have some different content. So you can separate out your offers and your courses inside of offers. Next up, click on Create, and here is where we can get into creating a selling page and an offer page if you want to give it away for free. So first, guys, always title it what the thing is about, then give it a description like learn the A to Z of being a tax pro. From getting your first client, you can put in a longer description than that. You could also include pictures and stuff like that, but the biggest thing you want to check is your price. So if this is a free offer, you can leave it as is, $0. If you want to edit the price, you can click here and choose between a free, a one-time payment, or a recurring subscription. For courses, I generally recommend a one-time payment unless you're going to offer some kind of live coaching or structure it around a monthly subscription or yearly subscription to your course. So you could set it up however you want, just make sure your payment gateway allows recurring subscriptions if you plan to do it like that. Once you have it set, hit Save Plan and move on. Next up, hit Publish once you have a thumbnail on there. And let's talk about editing our checkout page. So once I save it, you can click on Edit Checkout Page here. And this is for checking out for paid methods and free offers. Either way works. Now you have 3 sections here. You have offer details, which is where we can pick a file for our banner. We can set up a video if we want to have a little talking head video here. I'm just going to toss in a video so you guys can see what that looks like here. Let's grab our demo video again. So it's going to upload right onto your page. All right, I just let that upload in the background. We're back to live here. So bam, our video is there. You could put a little poster image, a logo image, kind of go through and make sure this all makes sense for you. Once you're done, hit save, and it's going to actually place everything on your page. Let's let it load. And boom, now we have a little sales page going. The next piece of this is to add in some sales copy. I believe you can do that right here for checkout copy. So I could add in like, learn the A to Z tax business, no experience required, you know, yada, yada, yada. Hit save, and then again, hit save inside the actual editor, and there it is. Now, once you have your actual like sales stuff put together, you might want to collect extra contact info, especially if you're having them pay, right? I might want to collect an address and a phone number to verify that that is their actual billing address for the card they're using. If I hit save, it's going to add some additional info to the checkout. Feel free to collect whatever information you want. Lastly is going to be your service agreement. So if you have some kind of agreement for the course that you want people to agree to, you can click on required and pop in your service agreement URL. This could be a privacy policy. This could be just something that you want them to agree to while taking the course. For example, if you're teaching tax law, you might want to include something that says, you know, hey, tax law changes year to year. Just know that I update this course every current tax year. If something changes in the middle of tax season, I'm not responsible for you messing up. Of course, have your lawyer read over anything legally binding. We don't recommend doing anything, you know, legal recommendations at Tax Nitro. Always have your lawyer look over that for you and go from there. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to use a custom agreement text that just says this. Of course, you would want something more extensive. I'm just going to hit save to show you what it does. It adds this little checkbox here where they have to checkbox before they check out. So that's pretty much it, guys. I will say that your custom branded link when you hit get link will be whatever you set up in those DNS settings. So for example, if you put in courses.tamerstaxacademy.com, it'll say that, and then you'll see this big long string of text. But this is what it'll look like if you don't brand your offer. So if you've done the membership DNS settings, yours will not look like that. It'll be branded to your business URL. So now that we have our checkout page done up the way we like it, the next step is to go out there and test it. So you could hit preview, or you could hit get link and open this in a separate browser. I also recommend checking it out on your phone because a lot of people are using their phones nowadays, right? How many people are on their actual desktop when buying something? So first thing we're gonna do is find our, where's our tax course? There we go, tax course, and I'm gonna hit preview. Once I'm previewed, I'm gonna type out my email, my name, my number. I'm gonna go ahead and speed through this so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me type. And once we have all that typed out, we're gonna hit submit. So once I actually pop in all my information to that little offer, it's going to allow me to click right here and go ahead and see my courses. So they can click on the course, they can start taking it and go through each lesson, right? They can click on here and start watching the video. However, I want you to make sure that as the business owner, you go back to your dashboard and go to your conversations tab or your contacts tab. Either way works. And I want you to go find that email that you just sent. So you can find them by the email that you put in, and you can click on that person and just make sure that they received an email that looks like this. So it says, hey, you know, thanks for your willingness to try out the course, yada, yada, yada. And don't worry guys, this looks funny because it's on a scrunched up preview screen here, if I pull in the email over here, it looks nice and neat, right? So that way you guys can see exactly what it looks like when your customers are going to get it. But there's your password. They can use that to log in, and you should be good to go from here. So guys, so far we have created a brand new course from scratch. We've created a product. We have created an offer. We have customized our login portal and our site details so everything looks custom branded. And now you're good to go. So what's the next step from here? Well, what I want you to do is to go create some kind of campaign to go launch this. What you can do is go grab your offer page. So if I go grab my Tamer's Tax course and I go to the checkout, I can say get link, and I can go create a campaign and go launch this out to my list. You could even go on social media and say, hey, if anyone's interested in whatever your course does, go ahead and grab this free course, or go ahead and grab this $97 course. You guys are all set to go launch. The next piece is going to be marketing. So tax pros, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed figuring out how to create your own courses. This is unlimited. You can do anything you want with this. That means you could sell your courses, you could get clients in for free with a quick little maybe how to save on your taxes course. There's tons of ideas floating out there. All you have to do is get on camera just like me, record your course, upload it to your portal, and get people to register. That's all for today, guys. Enjoy, and remember, if you ever have any questions, you can always click on that little button in the bottom right. It'll pop up our live chat support, and you guys can ask any question you want 24/7. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and we'll see you in the next video.